Hello, I'm Henry DeLozier from GGA Partners, working with the Tees to Greens Committee with regard to the capital planning that's being done here at the club. I'm sitting with Jeff Goren, the Mirabel Golf Course Superintendent, and Jeff, I'm going to jump right in. It seems to me that people are talking about bunkers, and as they get into that, it begs the question, why do they need to be redone when they were just worked on in, 2017?
Correct. Well, I guess if they're questioning whether they need to be done or not, they must be in good shape. But the reality is 2017 was 8 years ago. And by the time we roll around to 2028 and 29, it's going to be 11, 12 years. Bunkers were always planned to be part of the project for Tita's Green, or at that point, Project 28, Project 29. In particular, the sand. Sand, the useful life or expected life is around 5 to 7 years, as you're well aware, whether that's the Society of Golf Course Architects, the USGA, GCSAA, PGA, Golf Course Builders Association. It does have a useful life. Even I think 5 to 7 is a little extreme, but as we start hitting 8, 9, 10, 12 years, we start seeing some qualities that aren't as we'd like. And then when you go beyond the bunker sand, whether if we do some reestablishing some of the formations or forms and features as it proceeds to a bunker after 25 years, there's thatch buildup, there's been sand blasted up. We've lost some of the shape of the bunkers. We know those areas have to be restored. We desire to regrass with a drought-tolerant Bermuda grass. So when you start getting to those features, then everything else kind of comes along with it. We on hole number 15 did a little pilot test valve, test bunker on 15 fairway bunker ourselves with our crew. Tried to go in and as clean and neat as possible, remove the sod by hand, remove the sand, and it took a long period of time. And even being very kind, we did damage some of the Better Billy bunker underneath, and we quickly realized to get into these bunkers and remove the sand, how do you not do some damage to the Better Billy? Reach out to some contractors in terms of methods, and there is really no good way. So if you look at the infrastructure of a bunker, drainage, we know we want to address drainage. Useful life of the drain lines, 10 to 12 years. Again, we're well beyond that. The bunker's drainage was not replaced in 17. It was tested and proved out to be well, but bunker drainage needs to be improved, as well as construction techniques have improved since the introduction of whether it's Better Billy, Capcon, Bender, Bunker Solutions, kind of the name brand, different type of methods. Construction techniques have changed.
What are some of those techniques that are changing?
Well, for the most part, all these liner systems in particular, they were designed for the faces, to keep the sand on the faces. I actually was looking at a PowerPoint video that I did back in, I guess, 18 after we opened up, to see how much erosion we used to see on the bunker faces during our wet rain event. So they're very effective at keeping bunker sand up on the faces. But where they had an issue is more at the bottom. They created a perched water table, just like a USGA green, a perched water table. And so they tend to retain some moisture at the bottom and create some inconsistency between the faces and the bottoms. So there's some tricks to improve that by adding additional sand, getting to 5, 6, 8 inches in the bottom. But again, to really address it, you need to eliminate that. So when you look at these systems, most of them have gone to a modified techniques, a variety of forms. We did that on hole number 15 with the Capcon, using a modified bottom around the drain lines, going to traditional geotextile liners to get away from that perched water table. And so far it's been successful there. Bunker Solution, another method we tested 10 plus years ago, at that point didn't really have a good way, in my opinion, to handle the drain lines, the trunk lines in the bottom. They've since improved it, and it kind of, again, has come back into the front lead in terms of some of the liner system methods.
And do those techniques also apply after you've had heavy rains on the course?
Meaning what?
your drainage issues, and if you have heavy rain, it seems like you used to have some challenges with washouts and so forth.
Prior to 17, it was horrific. I forget until I look at pictures. If you look at this past winter, when we had, this past few months, we've had some pretty heavy rainstorms. Bunkers would have been probably ground and repair for 3, 4, 5 days, allowing my staff to get in there and shovel that bunker sand out. We saw minimal to no erosion. So they're maintaining, the sand's still performing well in terms of that. The infiltration rates have gone down. So the drainage of the bunker is still pretty good. We have had a couple over the years where they aren't draining, but we quickly are able to isolate, and usually it's the crushed drain lines in the fairways. This project does plan to address the drainage inside the bunker, the 4-inch perforated pipe in the bunkers, replace that. We're in there, let's do it. Let's get another 20, 25 years out of it, and tie that into the existing trunk lines in the fairway.
I want to circle back to something you touched on just a moment ago. Having been around golf course construction for these many years, I know that one of the challenges with bunkers is the shapes, that they change, they evolve. And so I'm interested in knowing what you anticipate the changes might be as you work through this process.
Well, the existing bunkers, I mean, the fact that they've always been lined, so the features inside the bunkers, and now they're with better billy, the features internally have been maintained the same. But it's the perimeters, some of the thatch development or sand blasted up. I mean, perhaps an extreme example is in our chipping green. When we go in at times to do projects around our chipping green with the bunker there, we've done this 2 or 3 times over the years, the sand's blasted about a foot. There's a foot increase on that bunker face, that sand that's been blasted up. So there's probably some high profile bunkers on the golf course that get a lot of play where the sand is blasted up. So those features have built up over time.
Will there be changes in the design or the number of bunkers as a part of this process?
Absolutely. And again, so when we're talking about the question, kind of going back to the beginning, why are we addressing bunkers? Even if it was just the sand. The Fazio team has been really open and receptive to we've already had members' comments for the last 25 years on a few bunkers. We've highlighted those bunkers. Michael Bunkman has been fantastic. He has a good relationship with Tom Fazio. So we've been working with them very closely. They've been very receptive on the bunkers that we've kind of selected. And as soon as they went and looked at those, they said, absolutely, we'll address those. As well as we've looked at numerous other bunkers on this property, being that we're over 190,000 square foot of bunkers. If they were to design a golf course today, knowing the cost of sand and labor, et cetera, they would not do that today. So they have gone in and their first wave have reduced the numbers, or even more so the size. One very large bunker, example in hole number 10, has been reduced to 2 smaller bunkers. So the actual count may go up, but the size definitely have gone down. I feel that a lot of that's going to happen organically in the field. That's how they tend to work. But they've already gone through and done that proposal, looking at these features and saying, we really don't need that bunker. It doesn't add to the golf course. It's just more maintenance. It's more future cost, capital-wise. And when you look at all those, they're going to require shaping. So a high percentage of these bunkers on the golf course are going to be shaped as well. So you're not wanting to have a consistent product on the left side of the fairway as you were on the right side. It also makes sense at that time to address whatever type of lining system we put in, replace the internal drainage and the sand to match what's brand new on the other side of the fairway.
Speaking as a golfer, we try to avoid bunkers whenever we can. And at the same time, I'm sure as your members land in them, play from them, they're going to appreciate the amount of thought that you've put into this and that have gone into members' enjoyment of the golf course. So thank you for the information. Thank you for taking this time with us. And thanks to all of you for participating.